Welcome back to part 3 of building my wardrobe. I'm off to Wickes to buy some supplies so I can carry on. So I began by using a lightweight filler to go round and fill all the nail and screw holes. I've never used this filler before and it was really nice. I was also going to use it to fill up the join at the back, but I decided to use some edge banding instead. So I simply cut the piece to size and then I used my tiny iron to stick it all down in place. I went over it a few times, pushing nice and firmly just to make sure it was stuck down properly. So once that was done, I went round and sanded off all the filler and then I began priming. I'm using the Dulux 2-in-1 quick drying wood primer and undercoat. I actually went into Wickes to buy the MDF primer, but they didn't have any, so I picked this up instead, and I'm quite glad I did because it was really nice to use. Now I always find the first coat takes a little bit longer to do because the MDF tends to soak it up quite a lot, but this actually went on really nicely, although it still took me about an hour and a half. Once that was done, I found a few holes that I'd missed and then went over a few of the edges just to make it a little bit tidier. Then I used some CT1 just to go around the edges and just fill the gap between the trim and the wall. I then went round and did a second coat of the primer and undercoat. You don't really need to do this, but I had filled in quite a few extra bits and I secretly hoped that I'd only need 2 coats of the top coat. So once this was dry, I then went round the edges and just touched up the walls and ceiling with the emulsion. So before I started painting, I prepped my mini roller sleeves with some masking tape just to take off all the fluff. Then I sprayed it down with some water and this just helps the paint to absorb into the roller better. I then got to start on the first coat of the colour and this is where it all started to come together. But when I got to the bottom, I realised that my carpet was a little bit too close to my liking, so I used my little Ryobi trimmer tool and I trimmed the carpet and underlay back out of the way. And then I carried on painting. So just a reminder for any new followers, I'm going to be colour washing this whole room apart from the blue wall. And I'm using Valspar's premium wood and metal paint in the colour Basket of Bobbins and it's the satin base. I'm using the same paint on all the wood and metal work in the room and I'm using the same paint for the walls and ceiling using the walls and ceiling paint. So I'll try not to bore you too much more with the painting because quite frankly who wants to watch someone paint? It's a bit boring really, isn't it? So I'll skip over the second coat as quick as I can. But what I will just say is the little Ryobi project light that I had bought for my birthday really came in handy because I had to do this second coat in the evening and I had no natural light to use. So now the painting's finished, it's time to put the rail up. So I also picked this up from Wickes. It's a brushed nickel 25mm rail and I cut it down to size with my hacksaw and then I'm just going to attach it to the wardrobe. So I've measured exactly where it needs to go. I've drilled some pilot holes and screwed the first one into place. Before you put the pole on, you need to feed the other holder onto the pole first, and then you can screw the other end in. And then there's 2 little screws on the back of the pole that just tighten it so it doesn't move around. And then it was time to officially move in. Woo! So if you're still here, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next part when I start building the second wardrobe.